Okay, start out trying d4, d5. Oh, we get a classical opening. The Queen's Gambit declined. I play the Slav defense. And when he brings the knight out here, I play the win-hour gambit. If you bring the other knight out, it prevents the win-hour gambit. He takes first. You can take or not take. I think it's the same. The main idea is that when you take the e-pawn, which is apparently undefended, you can push. Then you got this check to pick up the pawn. You have a nice expanded center here with an isolated pawn, but there it is. So it looks like he's found a way to win the pawn back, but there might be a trick here. I mean, there's a potential skewer on the queen here, right? Go here. Bishop b4. I played too fast. I should have played bishop b4 first, right? Because he can't block with the knight. Yeah, so this line he played doesn't actually work. Yeah, good point. So he's going to get the pawn back, and I have to move my queen somewhere. That's not good. So I wanted to try and play that trick now, but I don't think it works anymore. Because I go over here to defend this square. He takes anyway. I'll go here. If he takes with the queen, I'll take his bishop, so. That's why you shouldn't move too fast or pre-move. 1853. He's got a good rating, but I guess he just moves too quickly. Okay, should I bother moving fast is contagious? Yeah, but I took a long time on that move. I was really thinking about it, and he just moved instantly. That was funny. Okay, should I bother with this defending this knight here? I think just developing is fine. So we can keep taking. Why not? And get my knight out. Okay, let's kick his king around. And develop my rooks. I think I will defend that pawn. I can kick it later. Okay, we're attacking this pawn over here. And bring the rook in. This king is trapped on the back rank. Bishop and knight cover these two squares. He's still moving pretty fast. Okay, but isn't that just checkmate? since his king was trapped on the back rank, isn't this checkmate? That was a funny game. Anyway, you win some, you lose some. Yeah, let's get a new opponent. Time for c4. It's okay. Anyway, as I was saying earlier in the session, my goal here is to try and stay above 1750. And so far, I've lost a little ground, but let's see how it goes. So we've got a reverse Sicilian type of English. Sometimes I have rocky starts to my sessions here. So chess brain slowly kicks into gear. Plus, I faced a number of higher rated opponents too. Anyway, thank you for the encouragement, Mr. Prince. So he's going with the it's a system that prevents me from setting up the Botvinnik setup that I like. So by establishing a strong point here on d5 with his c6, d5 moves. You've been learning a lot since you learned the reti. I play that sometimes, but it's not a regular part of my repertoire. Okay, this is defended, I guess. I guess the knight comes out here then. This one is not defended. But is he going to push or is he going to defend? He defends. Yeah, let's just get castled. See how the rest of black's setup is going to be. He's got a pretty regular setup. I would say the only move I would question was this one. It stops the pin. I don't know if it was really necessary. Seems a little slow, but the English is a kind of a slow building opening anyway, so I think black can easily get away with that. So probably I'll be putting my bishop here, my rook here, and pushing some queenside pawns. Yeah, I think he has the idea of pushing this pawn. I do have to make sure this guy always has a square to run to. But if I occupy this square, he can at least come back here. But the other way to approach it would be to advance the pawns on the queen side and just directly play bishop here. I'm going to try that this time. I often put the bishop here and the rook here, like I was saying. Okay, he's put the bishop there. This kind of invites the pawn push. He wins the pawn. Do I get anything out of it? Or I could put a rook here. Okay, so our rooks are occupying the open file. All very logical development so far. Let's see, knight here. The bishop would retreat and stay on this diagonal, I guess. But it would allow me to push this pawn forward. But he doesn't have to take. He could just push. Knight could go here or here. Knight here is interesting. Yeah, I think this is an interesting move. I'm gonna try and play that if I can next move. Gets immediate pressure on this. Oh, he went that way. Okay, I was gonna say maybe he's just gonna come here and trade bishops. That would stop my plan. But I think that move just lost a pawn. could kick my knight, force it back, and then try and exploit my bishop here. He could take here directly, I guess. I could take the knight hitting the queen. Right. Bishop here trying to win a pawn, but fortunately for me it's not hitting anything else but another pawn. So when I take the knight, he has to do something about that, and then I can take the bishop back. So I think the bishop is happy here. Let's just go back. I'm going to lift my queen up, and so I can retake here with the rook. If he gives me time, he might take himself. Wanted something solid, and I can switch to the King's Indian if I need to. Yeah, the Reti is a decent setup. Then you can get into all kinds of queen's pawn openings too from it. It transposes into various queen's pawn openings. Yeah, I don't see a need to trade pawns or trade knights. Just go here. Put pressure on his d pawn now that I've e pawn now that I've won the d pawn. Yeah, we're only on move 17. He's using up quite a lot of time. But he did, yeah, he lost a pawn for no compensation, so he's struggling to find a way to get back in the game. Get competitive here. Just take, yeah, why not? Drags my queen out. He can hit the queen again and get a rook on this file, but once again, I'll just step up with the queen. Maybe I'll put pressure on this pawn. If I step all the way out here, his rook could penetrate to this square, so maybe that's not good. Maybe just here and then bring the rook in. So he just defended. Yeah, I still want to get a rook to the c file. Okay, now the question becomes for me, what's the best way for me to make progress? I'm seeing this maneuver as an idea here. Also, the bishop hits this pawn. Hey, noticed. Yeah, let's just get going with it. He maybe wants to advance his knight here. Interesting idea. I don't especially want to trade queens. Let's go here. Keep his queen out of there. I don't think trading queens was particularly good for him either. But yeah, it appears he just wants to simplify because he's low on time. Unfortunately, I don't think for him, unfortunately for him, I don't think simplifying is a good strategy here when he's behind. Okay. Anyway, activate the queen a little bit. I'm going to play h4, I think. No, I'm not so sure. Let's force a trade of some kind. threatening this pawn. His queen's defending it, but ties his queen down. And he ran out of time. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. We can put this on the analysis board just to check. I think I'm winning here. +4. Yeah, it's just not, even though it's just, materially speaking, I'm 1 pawn plus I have the bishop pair are my material advantages, but just have better pieces here. What line does it give? It gives queen e7. Say I tried the bishop check. Looks like there's a lot of different ways to play this. King h8. Hit the loose knight. Yeah, that threatens to win this pawn because of the pin. Drop the bishop back, threatening check on this diagonal. Yeah, it looks pretty killer, but there's no immediate knockout blow, it appears. In fact, it's recommending black sacrifice the bishop to create counterplay here. Anyway, let's get another game. That was a nice one. Okay, have I played the Sicilian? I don't remember. Yeah, let's do the French, though. Okay, we've got an advanced French. He defends the pawn immediately. Let's keep putting pressure on the pawn. Pile it up. So this is, there's a trick here, right? You take, he takes, you take, he takes, you take. You end up with a queen here, and then he moves his bishop with check. So you can't take the pawn right away. You can go here. Then he drops back, and now the pawn is defended. You can also sacrifice a pawn. That's the Milner-Berry gambit. So I'm going to bring another knight in. Try and get more pressure on that center. If I go here, though, he'll just take the knight off, probably. I'll just go here, then. Let's just develop. Queen here is also looking at this pawn, as well as putting pressure on the center, so that ties his bishop up. So rook here, bishop here. I guess bishop here, so I'm ready to castle, if need be. But rook here looks like a nice developing move as well. Yeah, white has to figure out how to unwind his pieces on the queen side. I don't think it's that difficult. I would do something like this. Knight here, rook here. Knight comes around like this. I guess the danger is as soon as he puts the knight here, yeah, it blocks the queen's view of this pawn. He's really worried about losing that pawn. Maybe it would have been a case where it's okay to lose a pawn. Now I'm going to take and play my knight here. think this is going to be good because it's a double attack on his bishop. So if I didn't have an immediate tactic, I think castling would have been a good move, but there was a tactic. You got to use it. This is really bad. Once I take the bishop, I'm also hitting the rook, which is trapped. So this is game over, I think. And he resigned. Yep. No way out. We can take a quick look here. What does it say? -5. His best move is to bring the knight out. And I take the queen. Okay. If that's his best move, you know, that's pretty good. Let's get somebody new. D4. I think I played E4 last time I had white. D4, C4. Looks like we'll get a King's Indian. No, we're going to get a Benoni. Yeah, modern Benoni. Don't see that every day. He's going to fianchetto his bishop. Yeah. So he's doing the main stuff. Going to bring this knight around here. I always wonder where to put this bishop, because sometimes this pawn seems like it needs the defense. Let's just put it here, though. Get castled. Okay, he's going to advance on the queen side. Going to move my king and then put a pawn here, push through in the center. I think it's actually premature for that. Let's try and slow down his queenside pawn rush. He's looking to put a knight here. Yeah, let's move the king to the side so that when the knight goes there, I can just kick it right away without worrying about an unwanted bishop showing up here and causing me trouble. Yeah, I put that up there a little prematurely. Didn't really quite have a good foundation for it. But speaking of which, I don't have a good foundation here either, because my pieces are not quite where I want them to be. Maybe there. So I can bring this knight up here, freeing up my my bishop, and also I can bring a rook over here to the center. Oh, and I'm hitting this pawn too. So the queen defends. Pawn forward, he takes, I take, knight takes. So yeah, not ready to push that yet. Okay, we take once. Can come around here. This might be interesting. Oh, we can pin it. Maybe that's not so good. You can pin that knight. I think pinning wins, right? I don't have a defense on this rook here. Whew, he didn't see it. He didn't see it. Okay, now my rook is defended, so he can't pin this guy. Yeah, usually you're going for the central pushes here or here with this Benoni to attack the Benoni, but he seems to have initiated play on the queen side ahead of time and let me get away with something there. So this is interesting. Maybe, there he does kick the knight. Yeah, I thought if he did that, I would go here. I realize this is loose for the moment, but it can go here. Sacrifice there doesn't work. And the knight defends the rook. But just drop back here. Rook takes pawn or knight takes pawn. It's not so great. Push the pawn now. It's attacked by queen and rook, but it's defended by a knight. So if he takes that knight, I can take this knight. And he's still got two pieces hanging, the knight and the bishop. This pawn is hanging too. So I think I won a piece. And I got rid of his dangerous pawn duo there, so feeling good. Okay. Yeah, I guess that was good. I should have taken that pawn while I could have. But what I was thinking was this could drive the queen away from defense there. Just push this pawn forward. Okay, I'm going to give my king an emergency escape square here. He's tempting me to trade queens, but then he's got this passed pawn here, huh? Stopping the queen check. I don't want to get a perpetual going, so I'm trying to keep the queen from checking me as well as winning this pawn. Okay, there we go. That simplifies things a lot. So I just have this extra pawn here and an extra piece. And pawns are even, but this is an outside pass pawn, so it shouldn't be too hard to win with that. Just have to watch for, tricks of perpetual checks, hitting the dark squares. Salty Clown, thank you for the raid. Here, let's just keep pushing this pawn. And step by step. And Rocket Jacket, thank you for the follow. So he's looking for this check here again. If I go here, and he can't check me if I go there. He can kick me. He can kick me, but then I can go here and force a queen trade. Okay, he's looking for various tricks still. He's got this check here. If I step up like this, oh, he's hitting my bishop. I may have blown it. But he can't get back to a square here. Okay, got the diagonal here. That's the main thing. And I can just push this pawn forward. I'm about to lose on time here. So it's getting tricky. But it is a one game. I've got this and this covered and this. Yeah, all three squares are covered that the pawn is going to advance on. Just got to keep checking so he can't get in. He was once again looking for this perpetual, right? He goes here with check and then here with check, and that's another perpetual. But I managed to mate him, so that's good. Well, since we had a raid, I will play one more game. This is I've been streaming for 2 hours, so this is usually when I retire. But in honor of the raid, thank you all for dropping by. I will play one more game, and then we'll look for somebody else that we can raid. Dr. Sheikh Shakir. Well, let's try D5 again. I did D5 and I did Knight F6 both. Okay. Oh, so this is one of those times when you can move the knight and kick that bishop. Guess I'll fianchetto here so I can get castled without having to move the D pawn. And maybe you could play a move like that. I don't know. Could be. Let's just get castled then. Maybe I was supposed to leave the knight there and let him take, because when it takes back, that pawn is... here, let's bring another knight over. This should be okay. Get castled. Let's see, if I bring the bishop out, that knight's not even pinned, so I don't know if that's doing any good. Okay, maybe we'll fianchetto the other bishop too then. Couldn't quite decide where I wanted to put it. So we're kind of clamping down on this e4 square. He's going to try and play the knight there. Okay, I'm going to try and push the c-pawn. Dr. Sheikh Shakir, he beat me last time we played, so this is the revenge match. Get that pawn up there. Yeah, maybe there's a diagonal attack here. If I got my queen up to this square, for example. Except he can always block it with the z-pawn. I'm going to go ahead and open up a line here if I can. He goes that way. Okay, so he's got pressure. on the pawn here. I think I'm going to just kick that knight away. Just curious. Oh, he's trying to win the knight, I guess. But yeah, this is hitting this, and then I go here and fork the queen and the bishop. I think I win some material here. That unfortunate position of the bishop. Even here, there's a double attack. I'm hitting the queen and I'm hitting the bishop. Because the rook hits the queen. The queen can't take the pawn because the knight defends it. If he tries to grab the knight, I take the queen. He moves the queen, I take the bishop. 2 pieces up. Proposes the take back. No, we don't do take backs, sir. That's just funny. It was he hit it by accident. It was the take back button was next to the resign button. And he resigned. Okay, well that's it for me with this session. Let's take a look and see who else is streaming on Twitch. Back to Twitch.